the trade of the day. As I said, this is going to be challenging. We've got two very diverse investment opinions here, pretty much in the value camp and in the growth camp. Have you come to consensus, gentlemen?
Well, no, not really. The problem is we can't do foreign stocks because we're talking here about the hot stocks portfolio, which we have to go and execute the trade of the day on the JSE platform, which is operated for us by Global Trader. So there's the problem. Of the 5 stocks we talked about today, the only 2 we can consider are Naspers and Pinnacle. And Naspers, obviously, I was pretty keen on. Tshepo was worried about valuations. And in the case of Pinnacle, he's really bullish on it, but I'm worried about its product mix. So now what?
Now I become the adjudicator. I stand in as judge, jury, and make the decision. And I think we're going to do 2 trades then. I'm going to upset you both on this one. Tshepo, I am going to make you go short Naspers at 500. Are you happy with that?
I'm happy with that.
Are you sure?
I'm
You're going to stand by that position. And Paul, you know, you are going, what, I'm choosing.
I'm going to introduce, unfortunately, another problem. And that is that on the Global Trader platform, we can only trade the bigger, more liquid stocks. That thought has just occurred to me. And it's possible that Pinnacle will be there, but I think it's quite likely that it wouldn't be. So that leaves us with only one opportunity, which you're
not going to like going short Naspers.
Well, you know what? We could make it the shortest and smallest position that we have currently in the portfolio, with that extremely tight band that says that unless it, stays down and starts falling, that we'll get tripped out of it if it goes above a certain level.
I'd agree with that.
So you agree? We're strong-arming you into this decision. I mean, this
That's
is a
fine.
stock
That's
that
the
you
nature
love.
of the process. That's fine. So, in other words, what we can do is you can see the images floating up behind us. If you follow hotstocks.com, you'll get the email announcement. I'm going to have to work out how to write that. And then we'll get the trade recommendation. But as I say, remember, with short positions in particular, we know we normally put quite tight limits on it because you don't want to suffer,
Oh, we've had some bad history. We won't come back to it now. We have had some experiences on that front.
The particular problem with shorting is you really don't want to short a high-quality business, regardless of value. Which Naspers is. So that's the difficulty here. Whilst I disagree with the valuations put on this, I do think it's a quality business.
In my experience, and I'm sure you've noticed this as well, what happens with Naspers often is that it trades lower when Tencent goes through a bad patch on the Hong Kong exchange. And we've seen that, from time to time, Tencent, which reports quarterly in that market, will come out and say, well, sales be slightly ahead of...
Does Tencent still make up around 80% of NAV?
Yeah, there are different ways of doing it. If you look at the value of Tencent and then you take the 35% stake that Naspers owns, that gives you a certain chunk of Naspers' implied market cap. The converse way of doing it is to say, well, how much is the multi-choice DSTV business worth here in South Africa, and put it on a normalized multiple, which then kind of gives you another value. So it's a tricky one.
It's around, it can be as high as 80
some of the
on
parts,
some of the
exactly, and or look at the earnings, because obviously Tencent kicks in a big earnings.